Good morning, friends of the channel, friends of Zimbabwe, friends of a prosperous and successful Zimbabwe. So now, after seeing the second part of our filmed Al Jazeera documentary, which really focused more on the South African side of business, uh, we can see that our country is not just a basket case country, not just a banana republic only. It's even worse than that. A laundromat, meaning that nobody in the world is safe in Zimbabwe. No investment is safe in Zimbabwe. If the institutions that be, the institutions of trust, institutions of sovereignty, have been attacked to such a level that this kind of corruption is now institutionalized within government institutions and perpetuated by the people that are in the highest offices in the land. Therefore, it means that this is an attack on the global order, because the global order is what gave the rise to national sovereignties. The world order, that I must stress, is led by the United States of America, is what has provided us with what you call it peace in the last 60 to 8 years. Since World War II, we haven't had a world war since then, because of the world order, which is governed, policed by, I know many of you in the world do not like it, but it's policed by the United States of America. It's what it is. We need to humble ourselves. Now, sovereignty gives the nations the ability to express themselves, to aspire, to dream, to dream. There is an American dream in America, but in the world, there is a national dream. Any country can dream and be whatever it wants to be. Because the global leader, which is the United States, allows that to happen because of the peace that we have built after the World War II and that the institutions that we built after that, like the United Nations and the Bretton Woods institutions, like the IMF and so forth. Now, ZANU PF now given the opportunity to lead this section of the land in the continent of Africa. Remember, the United States, if it wanted, it could have just declared that the whole world is USA. The whole world is under America. And besides, I mean, unless if the countries refuse, but we were given what you call sovereignty. Therefore, this sovereignty gives people the right to choose their own destinies, and we elect our own leaders, and those leaders have that sovereignty, such that even the United States itself does not allow a superpower, what you call it, a superpower ability to infringe on the sovereignty of these states, of which I'm saying that these nations are sovereign owing to the superpower. It's a superpower that makes you sovereign. If the superpower does not want you to be sovereign, there will be no country. So where am I going to? I'm going to the fact that ZANU PF has been enabled by the global superpower to run Zimbabwe. But instead of running the nation as a proper country with a proper economy, with proper institutions, they have actually betrayed the spirit of the post-World War II system. Therefore, the sovereignty of the country has been used to launder money, which is to bypass the global norms, the global agreed norms. Something that China itself does not want. Xi Jinping himself does not want money laundering. Even Vladimir Putin, as a bad boy as he is currently, he also does not want money laundering in the Russian institutions. You understand? So they all support sovereignty. So Zimbabwe now becomes a weaker hand in the global order, and therefore it undermines the global financial systems, and not only financial systems, also political systems and many other systems that may lead to the whole breakdown of the whole system around the world. So Emerson Mnangagwa and the ZANU-PF government, because of what they are doing, are becoming a liability not only to the Zimbabweans but to the whole world. So it is necessary for the Chinese and the Russians and the Belarusians and the UAE and the Arabs and all the other countries that are invested in Zimbabwe to recognize that it is important for their assets in Zimbabwe, their investments in Zimbabwe to be safe. But if the government of Zimbabwe itself cannot promise, cannot be part of the global order and play by the rules, then it means that whatever investments that you have in the country, rules can change, institutions can be compromised so easily, as Al Jazeera has been showing us. So the expose was on the money laundering. We do not know what other darkest things are being done that Al Jazeera has not shown us. Therefore, for me, this should be a vote of no confidence from the global leaders, both from the West and the East, to denounce what the ZANU-PF government is doing. Having said that, uh, I really do like to stress on this point, because in the previous video I did speak about the fact that Zimbabwe has to be more aligned to the Washington sphere of influence and pivot away from this Chinese, Russian, what you call it, influences. Because I say that since the World War II, as I have been alluding, the United States have been able to keep global peace and has been able to promote civil rights, human rights, and proper governance systems. But then, if you look at countries like China and Russia, they have not been good in these kind of liberties, and their societies are not free societies. Even in China, we have got Chinese billionaires that leave China because of the tyranny in China, because of what that one party state of the CCP, the one party state of Russia also as well, is causing Russian oligarchs to leave Russia as well and invest outside the country. So what am I saying? I'm saying that in that trend, Emerson Mnangagwa and the ZANU-PF government, who are aligning themselves with these guys on the Eastern Bloc, who are basically tyrants and do not inspire societies that are actually going to be productive or safe for us human beings, for humanity. So I'm saying that I have been saying on the previous videos that the American war against Russia and the American war against China is not just an American war, but it is a global war to maintain civil liberties, good governance systems, and maintain a world order that works for all of us. So that is why we need to pivot Zimbabwe towards Washington politics. However, the investments in Zimbabwe, the investors in Zimbabwe are not only Americans, but they are global. Right now, as we speak, China has made a lot of inroads in Zimbabwe. They have invested a lot in Zimbabwe together with the Russians as well, and I do believe also the UAE. I'm not sure about the Saudi Arabians, but those investments have to be protected. If we say that we are pivoting to the Washington, we are not saying that we are doing we are nullify those investments. Not at all. Those because we want to be a proper government with proper systems, respected institutions. Therefore, we need to respect all investments from all people. We would welcome the Chinese investments. Chinese billionaires have to come to Zimbabwe as well. Just like as they are leaving the terrain of the CCP, as we get rid of the terrain of ZANU-PF, we come to a place where we create a country that is safe with freedoms, such that even the Chinese billionaires who are running away from the CCP can actually become Zimbabweans, such that even the Russian billionaires, the Russian oligarchs who are running away from the one party state of Vladimir Putin can also become Zimbabweans and invest in the country. You understand what I'm talking about? We see the vision I am trying to give to you of a free country that is aligned with United States, so that we respect our institutions, our government is open to scrutiny, and money is safe, the banking industry is safe, property rights being respected, and a country that becomes a sanctuary, just like the United States, it is a sanctuary. You see, Russians run to America, Chinese run to America. So I don't understand this global attack on the United States. Right now, China, Russia, South Africa, Brazil are forming the BRICS and attacking the US. And there's a lot of people who praise this and think that is a good thing. I think it's a terrible thing for the world order, for maintenance of world peace. Because if the BRICS countries succeed and they are able to topple the US dollar hegemony, what's going to happen? That we are going to be led by tyrants. CCP is going to be the global leader, and imagine the CCP, the oppressive nature that it is in China. Imagine if it is global, it's all over the world. We can kiss national sovereignty goodbye. So for me to support United States of America, it's not because I want to be a puppet, but it's just because I do recognize their for their contribution in keeping global peace in the past 60 to 80 years, ever since World War II, ever since they became a superpower. And I think that we should maintain that, we should fight that for that to prevail. Having said that, it means therefore that we, as a free country, as a Zimbabwe that I'm imagining, that is going to be free, that is going to be a safe haven for people around the world. It is important that I do maintain that Chinese investments and Russian investments that are in Zimbabwe should be safe, and Russian people and the Chinese people, Chinese entrepreneurs, Chinese business people that want to establish themselves outside of China and looking for a country where they can start up, we actually have to make that teapot shaped land in the middle of Southern Africa to be the hotspots for startups that are going to be global, startups that are going to be started by people that are coming from around the world. The best in the world should come to Zimbabwe. For a turn Zimbabwe into a prosperous country, it's not a matter of just using the locals, but it's a matter of getting global talent, attracting global talent, attracting global billionaires, Chinese billionaires right now that are being attacked by the CCP. Jack Ma is missing. Other Chinese billionaires have been jailed. So it is important for us to build a Zimbabwe that will bring these Chinese billionaires. We have got the Russian oligarchs, the Russian billionaires that have been caught up in this Vladimir Putin war. Russian billionaires that have got nothing to do with the war in Ukraine, but because they are Russians, they've been caught up in the sanctions, and we need them as well. We need their investments. So you see, we need to create a Zimbabwe that is like that. That is also open to the American capitalists as well, who would come and invest and compete together with the Chinese and the Russians. So you see, so when I'm saying let us pivot Zimbabwe to America, I am not saying that we are crushing the Russians or crushing the Chinese. However, we are embracing the Russians and Chinese individuals, and together with their businesses, and even the whole world, so that we have this sovereign of Zimbabwe, this sovereignty of Zimbabwe to actually be built by the whole world. Do you understand what I'm talking about? I always say that, they say that the Africans built London, and it's great because of the Africans. How about if the Western people and the global powers come and build our country? Wouldn't that be quite amazing? Instead of us leaving the country and going with them, they should leave their countries and come to us. We'll talk later.